Good morning, class. Today is an exciting day because guess what? We're going to open our textbooks to lesson 7, and this is the last exercise before we finish chapter 6 and get ready for chapter 7. That is so cool. So go ahead and open to your textbooks. And today we are going to practice everything we've learned about multiplication and division thus far. And another wonderful thing is we are going to be reading and solving word problems. My absolute favorite. I love those. So let's start and read the very first one. It says, 5 children share 30 carrot pieces equally. How many carrot pieces does each child get? Now you have a picture of an area in your book. I don't have it on my board. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my array. And for all of our word problems, we're going to write a multiplication and a division equation. Okay? So 5 children are sharing 30 carrots. So I'm going to write my division problem because we are sharing. We're going to start with 30 because remember that's the total. I'm dividing it because I want to share. How many children am I going to share it with? 5 children. 30 divided by 5. 30 divided into 5 groups. So I'm going to go ahead and circle my groups. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, Group 5. Did I share them equally? They look pretty equal to me. Now let's see how many are in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means they all have 6. How many carrot pieces does each child get? Each child would get 6 pieces. Now we can use our knowledge of multiplication to solve for division. What we would do is we would say 6 times 5 equals 30. Notice I didn't even change where my numbers were. I just changed my symbols. 5 times 6 is 30. Let's check if 5 groups of 6s is 30. Let's count by 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. If you're not sure how to count by 6s yet because we haven't learned them, you can simply add 6 plus 6 is 12. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. And 24 plus the 6 is 30. You got it. So we're not going to write a statement for our answers because the directions are asking us to write a multiplication and a division equation. Let's read letter B. It says, there are 40 toothpicks. Dana puts 8 toothpicks in each box. How many boxes are there? So we know we're going to start with 40 because that is our total. We're writing our division equation. 40 divided by how many? 8 toothpicks in each box. So she's going to put 8 toothpicks in one box, 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 and there we go. How many boxes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 boxes. Now let's turn this into a multiplication equation. 5 times 8 equals 40. 5 groups multiplied by 8 toothpicks equals 40. Letter C. There are 6 different colors of clay. There are 3 pieces of clay of each color. How many pieces of clay are there in all? Well, what a juicy story. It says there are 6 different colors of clay. So I'm going to draw the 6 different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretend these are all different colors. For each different color, there are 3 pieces of clay. So there's 3 of red, 3 of blue, 3 of green, 3 purple, 3 black, and 3 white, for example. So I drew my array, and this is going to help me find the total. There are 6 different colors times 3 in each equals how many in all? 6 groups of 3. 6 groups. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, Group 5, Group 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Let's count to check. Here we would be counting by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And there's our 18. Now we wrote a multiplication equation, but we still need a division equation that would match this story. What number would we start with? We would start with our total, 18, divided by, you can decide. You can say I want to divide it by 6, or you can say I want to divide it by 3. Both answers would be correct. If you shared 18 with 6 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups, inside each group you would have 3. If you had 18 and you wanted to share it with 3 groups, then we would circle them in 3 groups. This would be group 1, group 2, and group 3. And inside of each group you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's turn to the next page. Letter D. There are 10 muffins. 2 muffins are put in each box. How many boxes are there? So I know there's a total of 10. And looks like we are sharing the muffins in each box. So I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide it by 2 muffins. In each group there's going to be 2. So I can find out how many boxes are there. How many groups of 2 pieces are inside of the 10? So 2 in one box, 4, 6, 8, 10. How many boxes of 2's did I use? I used 5. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. If I wanted to use my multiplication, I would say 2 times 5 is equal to 10. 5 groups of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you could write it down. There were 5 groups of 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Letter E. There are 3 bags of potatoes. Each bag has 10 potatoes. How many potatoes are there all together? I know that I'm going to multiply because it said how many are there all together. Sort of like addition, right? There are 3 bags, and inside of each bag there are 10 potatoes. 3 times 10 is 30. There are 30 potatoes all together. Now, if I wanted to draw a picture just to make sure I got this correct, I would say there are 3 bags. Bag 1, bag 2, bag 3. Inside of each bag, there are 10 potatoes, so I would put my 10 inside of each bag. And then I would add them up. 10, 20, 30. We got the same answer. We also want to write a division equation that matches this story. And remember, when you are dividing, you always start with your total. So 30 divided by, you can say 3 bags or 10 potatoes. I'm going to say 30 divided by 3 bags equals 10 potatoes each. If you decided to write 30 divided by 10 potatoes, 3 bags each, that works too. Both would be correct. Number 2, it says write a multiplication and division equation for the array of caterpillars. So we're going to pretend this is my array of caterpillars, and I'm going to write 2 multiplication and 2 division equations. So I'm going to start by saying, how many groups do I want to start with? I want to start with 3 groups because I can see the 3 really easily. So I'm going to write 3. And then I'm going to show the 3 groups. Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. There are 3 groups. inside of each group, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is 7 inside of each group. So it's like saying 7 plus 7 plus 7. I know 3 times 7 is 21. 7, 14, 21. If I were to write a different multiplication sentence, what would I do? I would just flip it. Instead of saying 3 times 7, I would say 7 times 3, and our answer would still be 21. In this scenario, we're saying there are 7 groups. So now I would circle them this way. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, Group 5, Group 6, Group 7. There's 7 groups, and inside each group there are 3. 7 times 3 is 21. That's when you're adding by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 7 times 3 is 21. Now, let's write 2 separate division equations. We always start with the total. We know there is 21. We're going to share it either with 3 groups or 7 groups. Let's divide it by 3 first. 21. Divide it into 3 groups. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. Each group has 7. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Now let's flip it. Instead of dividing it into 3 groups, we're going to divide it into 7 groups. 21 divided into 7 groups. Group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each group would have 1, 2, 3. Number 3, our last problem. Letter A. It says a piece of string is 12 centimeters long. Here you can see it's 12 centimeters long. If it is cut into 2 equal lengths, how long will each piece be? So if my string total from here to here is 12 centimeters, and I wanted to cut it equally, that means I'm going to cut it in half, how much would each side be? It's like saying what plus what is going to give you 12, right? Oops, let's make that a little bit better. So we are sharing 12, and we're dividing it by 2 because we're sharing it into 2 equal pieces. 12 divided by 2 is what? We can use our knowledge of multiplication to solve for the division problem. We know that 2 times 6 is 12. So we can say our answer is 6. But let's say we didn't know that 2 times 6 is 12, right? If we didn't know that, we can share 12 by counting by 2's. So we would say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I got to 12, so I can stop. How many times did I count numbers of 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we came to the number 6 again. So if I were to cut this in half, there would be 6 centimeters here and 6 centimeters here. How long will each piece be? Each piece will be 6 centimeters. Letter B is saying if the string is cut, the same string, if it's cut into pieces that are each 2 centimeters long, how many pieces will there be? So again, I'm looking at my string, but this time we're going to cut them in 2 centimeters. So this is going to be 2 centimeters. This is going to be 2 centimeters. And I'm going to keep cutting it until I reach 12 because my complete string is 12 centimeters. So again, I am sharing 12, but this time I'm sharing it by 2. I'm dividing it into 2 to find out how many pieces of string will there be. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. How many pieces of strings is that? That's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of string. So 12 divided by 2 equals 6. And that was the last part of today's problem. You guys did a great job. Go ahead and take out your workbook so we can see what we're going to do in there. So today's lesson was nice and short, but you do have, I think, about 4 pages in your workbook, so you'll be spending time practicing everything we've learned in this chapter. I would like to remind you that when you see these equal signs, you're not writing the answer. You want to make sure that this side of the equation is equal to this side of the equation, which is equal to this side of the equation. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. If you write 20 here, it will be wrong. So you can write 20, underline this equation, write 20, and then underline this equation and write 20, because if this side of the equation is 20, this side also has to be 20. So what times 5 is 20? It's like saying how many groups of 5 is 20? 5, 10, 15, 20. 4 groups. So I would write the number 4 in here, and then I would write my 20 in here. Go ahead and read some of these cute little word problems and solve them. You have some more on the next page. And on the very last page, you are looking at arrays, completing the equations. Remember, make sure both sides are equal. And down here, you are going to write either a multiplication or a division or a plus or a minus. Oh, how cool. You get to choose one of these to write inside of all the circles to make your equations true. And then the very last part, remember again, make sure you underline the equations to make them equal. And that is all. You guys finished chapter 7. I'm so proud of you. Tomorrow we will do a review and then we will take our assessment. Great job. See you tomorrow. Bye.